I'm Yi-Wun. I'm from the Enterprise Product Center of ATEN. And today I'm going to present some wondrous new KVM applications into the digital storm. Especially I will cover some insight from the cloud and edge and the cyber threat everywhere. And also we'll cover the control room. Those are looking for it to be excellent. I think many of our customers knows these three main applications: the office desktop, the server room, and the control room. And basically, these three areas use a lot of KVM switches and KVM extenders and KVM matrix, especially our from the entry-level KVM products to the high-level KVM products. And we also have collected a lot of case studies, and we have done a solution guide for these three areas. And if you are interested, you can come to our booth to get the hard copy. And if you are online, you can go to our website to see our solution guide of the PDF file. But let's go to this server room first. When I say server room, sometimes I will say data center. So data center and server room are identical from our definition. So sometimes we call it a server room, sometimes we say data center, but they are interchangeable, they are identical. So in this server room, what's the trend? What we have seen, it is related to our KVM. So let's look at this cloud computing and edge computing. I think many of you are familiar with the cloud. We talk cloud a lot in the past few years. The public cloud, private cloud, and on premises, off premises. I think you are also familiar with the software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. But underneath, we could see data center, the server room. No matter the company or the organization are using the public or the private cloud, they will use the data center facilities. And in that data center, lots of KVM products are used. So let's look at the right-hand side. Sometimes there is a headquarters data center, so we call it a core data center. But some organizations have a branch office, have the multiple location all around the world. So they build the small-scale server room, so we call it a near-edge data center. But thanks to the IoT, Internet of Things, we could see that lots of computing devices are around the world, and especially at the edge. Here, I show you three areas: the airport, the hospital, and the factory. These three are the main application in the IoT. We have seen the organization use IoT a lot. And these things, these IoT things, are getting smarter and intelligent. So I always tell my PMs, whenever there is a computer, there is a chance for KVM applications. So when the edge devices are getting smarter and smarter, we have found that they use KVM more, and they give ATEN lots of new opportunities. Okay, so let's look at cloud first. As I just mentioned that multiple locations become a challenge to the data center owner. So they need to think about how to manage them remotely and how to centralize manage those KVM devices all around the multiple data centers, no matter it's in the core or in the edge data center. Next, let's look at the edge. Here I show you three examples. The healthcare things. Here is an MRI machine. The second one, the factory floor. We're seeing a lot of controller. They are the computers, especially the industrial PC. Okay, and then the third one, air cargo, the airport, the cargo things. Again, here you can see an X-ray scanner. Okay, they use computer again, and because of the IoT, these computers are connected, and they generate lots of information. Need to be processed, need to be analyzed, need to be utilized. So we found that in our real case. Let's look at this healthcare things. We have a success case in the UK. It's a big company to manufacture the medical machine, the MRI machine, and they have the industrial PC embedded, and they use our KVM extender to do the console extension because they need to monitor locally, but they also has the need to remote monitor this data or this information. The second case is in China. It's not the MRI machine, it's ultrasound machine. Again, the doctor or the examiner use the machine locally, but they also need to remote to look at this monitor's output at the same time. So they adopt our solution, the KE6940, the dual display KVM over IP extenders. The second area in the factory, actually we have lots of success cases in this area. And I just put two typical applications. The first one use our multiple port KVM over IP to remotely manage the factory's machines. Okay, so these cases happened in Taiwan, in Singapore, United States, and also in Europe. Okay, when they do the factory assembly line, they use our KVM over IP to monitor those examining process. And then the second case is using our single port KVM over IP, the CN8000A, for the remote access and also for their local access. That's happened in Japan and in Korea. The big semiconductor and the panel manufacturer are using our KVM solution in their factory. The third area is the airport cargo. Okay, so these two cases, the first one is in UK. It's the X-ray scanner manufacturer, the maker. So they bundle our CN8000A for their remote access solution. And then the second case happened in Korea, in the Seoul, the international airport. Their cargo service logistics service provider, they use our KE6900 solution for their local and the remote access solutions. So these are the real cases happening in the edge area. Okay, so again, whenever there is a computer, there is a need for KVM. Okay, another topic I would like to mention in this edge related is the space. At the core data center, they have the scale. They have the high class data center design, raised the floor, very good cooling, very good redundancy power, okay? But at the edge, those small scale server room or the data center, they are not so well designed. So they have a limited space. And sometimes when you look at this left-hand side of the picture, it's an outdoor broadcasting van. Inside the van, there's several racks, and computers, workstations are inside. That's OB van. So you can see that's like a small scale server room, and it has a limited space. So we need to address that, and we do. We launched our new short depth LCD console product in order to fulfill this kind of needs. Sometimes those edge are no space, even not just a limited space, because they need to put a lot of machine inside, and the space is limited. So they are not able to buy our standard KVM switches or the KVM over IP products or the LCD console. So what do they can do? What do they do when they want to do the maintenance? So we have this product, the CV211, that allows the engineer to bring his notebook into the site, the edge site, and connect it to that computer and to do the maintenance. So we call it laptop USB KVM console crash card adapter. So it's a small device, but allows the engineer to bring its own notebook and to use this notebook as the console, the KVM console. Okay, the last page for this server room or the data center part is I want to show you our demonstrated solution for our server room. So you can see that there is a rack over here, the server room. So we show our CO3800 NW, the new 1U ultra short depth dual rail widescreen Full HD LCD console. So the depth is less than 47 centimeter. So from the dual rail point of view, it's the shortest one. But very soon we are going to launch 2 more models. These 2 new models are the single rail. So the depth will be less than 43 centimeter. That will be the world shortest depth LCD console. So please follow to our new product introduction information. And this LCD console will connect to the KVM over IP switches as the console that allows the user to operate. And this KN, here we show the KN1108 VA, but actually in our booth we have the KN8132 more high-end model. Okay, but they provide the KVM over IP function. Okay. So next, I will talk about the Office desktop, our desktop solution. So when we talk about the desktop, we usually refer to the 2-port or 4-port, the typical for the desktop user. The user has 2 computers or 4 computers, and they want to have just one set of a keyboard, mouse, and video monitor. So they use our KVM switches for their desktop use. But the hot topic in this area is the security issue. In the past, many IT personnel pay a lot of attention in doing lots of like a firewall, many security aware solution for their servers. But we have seen lots of requirement focus on the desktop. In the past, they probably just to install some software into that PC. But some, especially those have the highest or the strictest requirement for their security, like the government, the military. Usually they have a whole bunch of budget, so they would like to buy 2 computers. One is for the internal data access, and the other one is for the external access. So they just strictly separate or isolate these 2. They do not allow the data to pass through across them. So under such circumstances, they would use the KVM switch. But for the highest security sensitive organization, like the US government or the NATO's, the countries, they follow the U.S. Standard. We call it the NIAP, the PSSPP version 3.0. So what is the PSS? Okay, PSS stands for Peripheral Sharing Switch. So the NIAP, the organization, define a profile, a protection profile for this kind of device. So KVM switch is under this category, the PSS. So we have launched a full range of new secure KVM products. The total numbers are 18 models, and they all are PP 3.0 certified. So if you come to our booth, if you look at this area, yeah, we have this PP 3.0 secure KVM. Doesn't work. Okay. I want to go to the next page. Okay, thank you. Okay, so these three are the models that we have demonstrated at our booth. So come to stop by and look at them. So the important thing is that so it's always on, active tamper-proof, and from the design to the finished products, it all follows the rule for the data isolation and the unidirectional data flow regulations. Okay, so this is our new secure KVM products. The next one is the KN console station. So this new products, the KN8280. Here you could see the blue color words, non-PC based console. So for the typical user want to access our KVM over IP, they use their general purpose PC and to run the browser and then to connect it to our KN and to the servers. But for some organization, like some high-tech manufacturer or some government or military organization, they do not allow to use general purpose PC. So they will prefer this kind of solution. So it's a non-PC based solution. So you don't have to worry about the virus or the security issue. Okay, the next topic related to the desktop is the high bandwidth. We talk about the KVM, okay? Keyboard, mouse, the data transmission is okay. But for the video monitor, the video parts, the resolution is the key. And right now the mainstream is still on the Full HD, but we have seen lots of requirement moving to the 4K, okay? But when you are dealing with the 4K, bandwidth is an issue. And we have seen that the video interface is moving from the traditional VGA to the HDMI or the DisplayPort. Okay, and for this DisplayPort, you can click the, okay, thank you. Okay, and our booth we demonstrate the three main models. Let's start from the top. The CS9022 and 1924, the 2-port, 4-port, 4K DisplayPort KVM-P switch. So if you are not familiar with ATEN's terminology, KVM-P, that P means peripheral. So our new model will support USB 3.0. Okay, so you see that the latest DP, the 1.2 version, it has the capability to using one single DisplayPort cable to transmit multiple streams. But you could see that the connector connect to the PC, there's only one. one yellow color line to each PC. One single yellow color line to the monitor. So what happened? How could they connect it to the dual monitor? Okay, because it supports MST. So if the monitor supports MST, it has the MST hub inside, allows it to connect to the next monitor. So it is how the typical or the standard 1.2 display port connection for the dual display monitor. However, sometimes people invest to buy new PC, but they want to use the existing monitor. Okay, so the monitor may not fully compatible to the DP 1.2, so they could not use the typical way to connect to the two monitors. So what happened? They need to use an MST hub. They need to buy a hub and connect it in between our switch and the monitors. And so our next model, CS9022M and 24M, it has the MST hub embedded. So you can see that from the switch to the monitor, we provide two connectors. So you are able to connect to the DP 1.2 monitor or the DP 1.1 monitors. Okay. The third one, okay, you could see physically each PC has two connectors, and to the monitor, two connectors. Okay, so if for the highest requirement user, they want their both monitor can handle 4K. Each has a 4K, so they could buy this the highest model. So I want to show you that some differences among them. The resolution that I put it here is under the same refresh rate, the 60 Hertz. So the top two models, if you want to use the 30 Hertz, the refresh rate is 30 Hertz, it is able to support 4K. But under this comparison, I try to compare on the same refresh rate. So if they are using the 60 Hertz, so the bottom one will be the most powerful capability. Yeah? Okay, let's go to the control room, the last part of this section. Okay, similar to our previous desktop solutions, the resolution is moving from the Full HD to 4K. Okay, and when we are dealing the 4K video signal, especially in ATEN, we design our products using the over IP. We leverage the mature Ethernet switch or the over IP's well-known protocol to transmit those video signals. But the challenge is when we are transmit the 4K video signal, we need to compress at the transmitter side and decompress at the receiver side. So how could we visually losslessly decompress or compress our video? It's a challenge, okay? And the second one is, because we want to transmit in the 1 gigabit per second Ethernet cables, but when we are doing this compress, decompress in these calculations, so how could we transmit them with almost zero latency, so that user would not be aware that there's a latency, so they could control their mouse and look at the video smoothly. So the challenge would be how to have the excellent video and image quality and have the excellent mouse control. ATEN has our own technology to design those compress, decompress. sometimes we use the term encode, decode, the codec. And yeah, we could use the very popular solution from the ASIC vendor. Yeah, they have a very their own solution to provide ASIC. But in our control room solution products, we use the FPGA. We design our own algorithm and we implement it in the FPGA. So whenever there's a new standard coming out, we are able to design by ourselves. And something wrong, we are easy to do this troubleshooting. So it's very crucial. And not only on the decompress side, we use the user-centric philosophy to design our products. So we try to understand how the user are using their control room facility, the seats, the video wall. Okay, so we design our software and we have some very fantastic features to demonstrate our values. So let's look at this diagram. So this is this area. Okay, I put the connection diagram into the slides. Okay, so the main product we are going to introduce is this 4K HDMI KVM over IP extenders, the KE8952 and the KE8950. So it's an extender, so it means that it has the transmitter and the receiver. And because it's over IP, so we use the Ethernet network switch as the master switching device. So we use the IP. Okay, so from this diagram, if you look at the right-hand side, there are 4 PC. So each PC connected to one transmitter. Okay, and because this scenario, we have this KE69. They are the predecessor of our KE89 series. And 69 series is the DVI interface, and 89 is the HDMI. Okay, and all 4 transmitters connected to the network switch. So on the left-hand side, you could see there are 3. The KE8950 receiver. R stands for receiver. So 3 monitors, the 4K monitor, are connected to each of them. And they share one set of a keyboard mouse. So this function is the boundless switch. You see that the blue color, the boundless switch, it means that the user can intuitively to move their mouse to the border or the boundary of the screen to switch the port. Okay, so if you're interested, you could sit down and play around. And also, there are 8 receivers connected to these 8 video wall, the TV panel. Okay, so each are laser. So these functions are done through our CCKM. So this is the complete ATEN's 4K KVM over IP solutions. So if you're interested, yeah, you can come to our booth and sit down and play around. Okay, so just a summary. I covered 3 areas. Server room, I talk about the cloud and edge, and I talk about security. Not only for the server room, I also talk about the new secure KVM switch for the desktop user. So this address the cyber threat everywhere issues. And the third, I talk about the control room. We have seen that many users or many organizations are moving from the Full HD to 4K, and they are asking for a good quality control of their computer devices and also their control room facility. So that's all for my today's presentation. Any question related to today's topic? Question? Okay. Okay. If you are not able to come to our booth, if you are online, yeah, you could visit our Facebook. We will share the activity or the information that's happening in our booth in our Facebook. So go to our Facebook and check out what happened at the ATEN booth. Next question.
Okay, so this is from one of our online attendees, Nikki Kim. His question is, one monitor question with the boundary switching in the KE series. Does the boundary switching work with the servers with extend mode display? So the boundary switching the boundary switches is in the KE series, right? Okay. So does the boundary switching works with the server with extend mode display?
So I think it's talking about the multiple display. For this, the new K89, the 89 series, there's just a single display. But if you use two receiver, you could configure them as the dual display of the server as a dual display, the extended mode. But not available yet. I think for those dual display mode, I'm not sure, but check out whether the current CCKM software support the extended mode for the dual display or not. But I get back to this online attendant. Yeah, Nikki. Okay, thank you. It's a very good question. Any question? No? Okay, thank you.